Hello, Sean here from Forward Home Enhancements, and today I want to talk about circular saws. I'm going to teach you guys how to remove and replace the blade on a worm drive. So, a worm drive saw is this guy right here. What's the difference between a worm drive and a traditional circular saw? Well, look at that beauty. See how the handle is back here? Now, a traditional circular saw, handle up here, like so. Worm drive is built for precision. It's a heavyweight, heavy duty saw. When it's in your hand, you know it's there. It lays flat. The weight of the saw is a major factor. Also, the blade's on the left side of the saw, which in my opinion is where it should be, because I want to be able to look at it. I don't want to peer over the other side of my saw, especially being right-handed. With the worm drives, things that you have to be aware of. These bolts, they typically, on my two saws, which I have a Bosch and I have a Skill over there, these bolts are left-hand turns, which means that they tighten to the left and they loosen to the right. And if you look on the bolt, in most cases it says little arrows, it says off. First thing you want to do is come over here, find your blade lock. Once you got your blade lock, you want to hit it and get your 13 millimeter socket or a wrench and get her on there, make it happen. It's kind of difficult for me to do with one hand, but you get the gist of it. Set your socket. If you're using a ratchet, set the ratchet to tighten to get the bolt off, because remember, it spins right to come off. Once it comes off, it's going to look something like this. You're going to have a diamond knockout right here. And this diamond knockout, your saw blade, chances are, has the option for a diamond knockout, and it's a twist out. So when they say twist out, they don't mean hit it with a hammer to get it out of there. Use a pair of pliers. You could even use a wrench. If you had a box wrench or whatever, you could use that to get it out. One thing you shouldn't do is bang on this thing with your hammer, because you're going to manipulate the blade. The blade's going to get jacked up. The other thing is, blades just ain't made how they used to be. I don't feel that they're the same. They're fluted in some cases, a little, cinchy. But you don't want to bend your blade up and then, have bad cuts and the blade would wobble like this while it's on the saw, and you don't want that happening. Next thing you want to be aware of is the direction of which your saw turns. So on worm drives, and again, this is my experience here, but the blade turns this way, right? So there's only one way that a saw blade cuts lumber, and that's where the teeth are going against the material, like this, turning like this, right? Not with the material, but against it. See how the teeth are going against, like how they're going up? See, if I was cutting this, I'd want it to cut like this, not like this, like this. I'd want it to rip at it. So when I put the saw blade on, I don't want to just make sure that the label is facing me, because if that were the case, then it would go with the material. So yes, I want it to go in there like that. Now, keeping that in mind, with the worm drive, you're tightening to the left, not to the right, to the left. So this is an example of why you have to pay attention to your tools. That is a bolt for my skill saw worm drive that I had to weld a socket onto to be able to get it off, due to somebody not paying attention to what I was telling them. So when you put the bolt back on, remember, tightening is to the left, loosening is to the right. I hope that this video helped somebody, and thanks for watching.